Are we done then? Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, I'm a lecture. Right. So thank you very much. That was great. So we're completing now the narrative with, we talked about the context, we talked about real life implementation. What about how can the community support you? And there would be no one better than Sam here, both from the board and the local chapter, who can talk about OWASP and how OWASP can help cybersecurity journey.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, John. Thank you. Right. Let's see if this works. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Stepanian. I am the OWASP London chapter leader. We're all here in London. I'm also on the OWASP Global Board, so if you have any questions about OWASP, how it works, and anything else you want to find out about our projects, events, and community, please come and talk to me. So for those of you who don't know, OWASP is a non-profit organization. We're not a company. A lot of security vendors contact me and they try to sell me Salesforce security. I was like, sorry, we're not buying that. But we are first of all, we're a community, right? And of volunteers. We have hundreds of chapters worldwide. Also here, we are here in the OWASP London chapter. But what else we do? We also hosting conferences, right? Sorry. Local and global. So we are here at an OWASP London conference. Important thing, we're all volunteers. None of us is paid to do this. We all have day jobs. I have a day job. John has a day job. Scott has a day job. Everyone has a day job. So this is very important. So it is a volunteer-driven community. We are global. So these are all the countries where we are at 71 countries, 250 VNAP groups, and 170,000 people who come and attend our events and participate in our groups. Here in the UK, those of you who are from the UK know we have a lot of visitors from outside of the UK. Obviously here we're in London, but these are all the other chapters that we have at OWASP. I'm very pleased to see that I spotted at least 2 other OWASP chapter leaders, one from Cambridge and one from Bristol. So if there are any other OWASP chapter leaders from the UK, well, we have an OWASP chapter leader from India. Wonderful, Vandana is here. So for London, those of you who don't know, we run regular meetups. Please come and join us. OWASP London or Meetup, very easy to find us. You can just Google for OWASP London. Our community is here. We run meetups, right? Where we have usually 2 talks, 2 speakers, and we also run Capture the Flag tournaments or secure coding tournaments, where you can win some exciting prizes donated by our sponsors. Of course, OWASP is mostly about projects, right? We have lots of projects. The number of projects grows every week. And this is another very important thing. All our projects are free and open source, which means they are always open for collaboration and contribution. Now, obviously, we are here at a project event, right? And that is a Gen AI security project. So you've learned at least about one project, but obviously we have hundreds of others. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about AI security versus traditional security. I think this was already highlighted earlier by Paul and by Mark as well, that at its heart, AI security is a software security. AI is a software application, right? So if you kind of look at it on a very high level, kind of has the same risks, right? We're still dealing with injections, input validation, authorization, right? Data integrity. So there seems to be traditional problems. However, what's changed, we have a new complexity with AI. What has changed is the mechanism. What we previously had, we had programming languages. In programming languages were very strict and deterministic. If this, then that, right? However, with agents, we have completely different mechanics. It's non-deterministic. It's if X, then maybe Y, or perhaps Z. So we have natural language versus programming language. And one of the problems that we have is that the traditional security teams are still trying to catch up. Obviously, everyone here is here to learn about AI security and all the latest projects, but not all the teams are actually doing that. And one of the interesting things about non-deterministic nature of AI is if you look at traditional OWASP top 10 for web applications, and we're talking about SQL injection, right? There is a 100% guaranteed method to prevent SQL injections, right? It's 100% guaranteed. If you implement it, 100% SQL injection will not happen, right? So you stop it. With AI, there is no 100%. That is the issue, right? And in application security, it's a very big problem. And this is what we all try to solve. Now, I'm going to share you my personal experience of trying to report an AI vulnerability to a company. And this is a very large e-commerce company. And it had a chatbot, and that chatbot was actually helping with product queries. So as you look at the product and say, oh, I can help you with the product, I can suggest you some other products, I can tell you things about this product, right? And I managed to jailbreak that chatbot. I used the traditional jailbreaking mechanism, prompt injection mechanism. I used role playing. So I convinced the chatbot that it is not the chatbot, right? It is actually another actor. And I used some other techniques and gradually, what's called gradual escalation. So I gradually moved it to the idea that it needs to forget the fact that it's a chatbot for e-commerce system and it's something completely else and can give me any information that I want. I tried to report it via the vulnerability disclosure process of that company. And then I was met by very interesting pushback because the security team of that company came back to me and said, oh, you're reporting prompt injection. Prompt injection is an informational level finding, right? And I said, okay, hold my beer, right? So this is everything that I demonstrated. Disclosure of personal information. So there's the names and dates of birth that I managed to convince that chatbot to give back to me, right? And I know that they had guardrails, and the guardrails were specifically designed to protect, because the first time if I just open the chatbot on the product page and I say, give me the name and the date of birth of a CEO, and say, no, I'm not allowed to do this, right? This is a personal information. You cannot ask me that, okay? But I managed to jailbreak that, right? And give it that information. I managed to get it to disclose sensitive and copyright protected information. I tried to basically get it to return and show on the screen copyrighted information. At the beginning, it resisted. It said, no, I cannot provide you with this information. And I bypassed that, okay? But then I found some other things, because this is all fair enough. But then I managed to get it to hallucinate products that this company doesn't make, right? And moreover, this agent, because with this chatbot, it was generating thumbnails of the products on the screen, and it hallucinated the miniature thumbnail images of the products that do not exist at all. So I reported that as well. And then, which was very interesting, as I was trying to do this jailbreaking, I could see that guardrails were working. They were kicking in and say, sorry, I cannot provide any medical information. It's like, what? I'm not asking for any medical information. This is not a medical product e-commerce site. This is like generic e-commerce site. There's no medical products here. However, it was obvious that the designers of the guardrails were so scared to be sued if they provide incorrect medical information. So the second the guardrail was detecting that it's actually being manipulated, it would spit out, sorry, I cannot provide medical information. But I think what was happening, it would reboot itself. Okay, so, okay, I said, okay, hold my beer. I got it to basically provide me medical information. Okay, and I got it to give it to me, and which I think is quite scary, right? So I got it to provide me with this wonderful medical advice that if you rub hemorrhoids cream on your arm, it will cure your high blood pressure. Okay, so I took screenshots of this and I reported it to the company. And this is the response I received. They said, this is not a security vulnerability, because we think that things like that, generation of inappropriate text and visual content with a model, is not a vulnerability. Getting inappropriate suggestions from the model is not a security vulnerability. Malicious code generated by the model, we don't accept it, right? It's not something you can report to us. Any issues or actions which are results of model hallucinations, also is not us, not the security team. This is all out of scope, okay? So here's the lesson, right? So if we cannot secure this basic chatbot interaction, right? We talk about agentic, this is agentic, yes, all we talked about today was agents. How are we going to secure these autonomous agents? If the companies adopting AI today, their security teams are not understanding this. This is the challenge, right? Because companies still have this legacy security mindset, right? Because they do not understand the threats of AI security. They still think in terms of code exploits, not in terms of model behavior exploits. And AI failures are seen as bugs or quality issues, but not new attack vectors, right? And legacy security frameworks weren't built with LLM autonomy or emergent behavior in mind. So another problem is that the risk is misunderstood because leaders do not understand what AI is. They think AI is another cool feature that we can implement. Go and ask any CEO if they think that AI is a new attack surface. No, they will not say this. Another problem with large language models, everyone says, oh, it's just a text, right? So because it's text, what can text do? It gives them a false sense of safety. But we've seen from all the talks today what text can do, right? And what is, of course, really interesting with prompt injection, it's hacking, but it's not hacking with security tools. It's not hacking with Kali Linux, Nmap, and other security toolkits. It's hacking with plain text English, okay? And people underestimate that how easily prompts can trigger harmful actions. Okay. Now, another problem is lack of clear ownership. How many of you have security teams? Okay. And how many of you have to deal with AI security? So whenever there's an AI bug, who is going to deal with it? Is it DevSecOps? Is it your data science people who work a lot with all this AI, machine learning people, the product team, right? So for example, the product team who built this e-commerce system, who's going to deal with it? Right, the responsibility is still ambiguous, and that is another challenge that we all have to remember about. Now, immature standards, right, and tooling as well. If you look at the security teams today, right, most of them are using traditional scanners, stuff like SAST, DAST, SCA, right? Show me a security scanner which will find prompt injection or model poisoning, right? The traditional scanners don't do that, right? Another problem is most companies today, they do not start implement security because they need to wait for some compliance requirements, right? The only reason why OWASP became so big 20 years ago is because PCI DSS said, okay, if you're a company accepting credit card numbers on your website, enough is enough of all the data breaches. You either install a WAF, right, web application firewall, or you do security code review and make sure that you address at least OWASP top 10 security risks. Right? And another problem is lack of established reporting. How today your companies, if you're using AI, do you have a mechanism for people to report AI vulnerabilities to you? And if these vulnerabilities are reported, what's the severity scale? What's the CVSS score of prompt injection? Right? There's an interesting matrix that Mark showed earlier. So they actually found a way of how to do this mapping, but we don't have that system. Another problem is, of course, is the speed. Everyone needs to ship fast, right? Move fast, but then no one thinks about AI security. We'll secure it later, right? Everyone is jumping on the AI. Well, I was told, one of the companies, they said AI is like a train, and you do not stop, and you don't basically stop in front of the train, right? The train needs to keep moving. The AI locomotive has to move forward. Right, and we'll secure it later. That is another problem. So, confusion over the actual threat feasibility, because a lot of people think that prompt injection isn't a security issue unless the model runs code, right? But that is not actually true because indirect prompt injection, right, we've seen today, is actually still allowing us to exfiltrate data, like I did, right? Misroute actions, manipulate agents if using agent, or degrade integrity, right? So this is another problem because people are still confused. So how can we move from this confusion to structure? And this is where OWASP, us, our community, and our projects can help. Everything we produce is free and open source. The GenAI project, as well as all OWASP projects, it's all available online for free. So please do and use this knowledge, right? And if you start using OWASP GenAI project, you will see how all the problems that I talked about get addressed, right? So we will have a unified taxonomy if you start using OWASP GenAI, right? You will extend your security mindset, not into traditional security, but you extend it into LLMs, agents, AI-driven components, right? We have ways how you can understand and speak the same language, right? In terms of AI with all the stakeholders. This is why it's very important to adopt this project. And that's the bottom line. Companies today, they all underestimate AI vulnerabilities because the industry lacks frameworks, testing methods, and risk models. And today we learned quite a few of them. And this is what OWASP GenAI Security Project is providing. We are creating the standards, guidelines, tools, and community practices for you, so you can make AI security measurable and actionable. So in terms of AI OWASP community here in London, the community that I run, only in the last couple of weeks, we had two meetups where we had talks on the AI topics. We had Dr. Katie Paxton-Fair talking about AI agents going rogue, right? And about excessive agency, right? This is what we were discussing today. And we had Sonia talking about secure vibe coding, which is another interesting subject. Your developers are using vibe coding tools. They're asking AI to write code. How secure is it? So again, these talks are all available on the OWASP London YouTube channel, because what we do, we live stream and record all our meetups. So I invite you to go and follow OWASP London on YouTube. You will be able to watch all our past talks. Another thing is OWASP global conferences, because these conferences happen at least twice a year. And this is where all the best minds in security converge. And we actually have a conference upcoming. It will be in Vienna. That's June 25th, 26th. We're going to have a big conference. If you are a speaker and want to present the talk, quite a few of you here in the audience, I know you are speakers. Okay. Call for papers is now open. We want to hear your opinions, and we want to hear about your research. Please do share it with us. Please submit your talk proposals to us. And this is my last call to action. Depending on who you are, if you are a builder, you're building applications inside your organization, use our OWASP projects. Use OWASP Top 10 for LLM and Agentic AI in your sprints. If you are a defender and you actually protect from threats, we want to hear from you, because please do contribute to GenAI project, so we to find out about all the tools and techniques that you are using to help everyone in the community. And for everyone here, of course, as I showed you, there are OWASP chapters everywhere. Please go and join your OWASP local chapter. Thank you very much.